So, what if I told you there's a hidden world of communication happening right now, right beneath our feet? I'm talking about a conversation on a scale so vast, in a medium so strange, that we literally can't even hear it. Today, we're going to dive into the secret language of elephants. Okay, so picture this. It's 1984. A biologist named Catherine Payne is at a zoo just observing elephants when she starts to notice something, well, odd. It wasn't a sound she was hearing, it was a feeling, a deep, pulsing vibration in her chest. She actually described it as silent thunder. But here's the thing, it wasn't a storm. She knew, somehow, that this feeling was coming from the elephants themselves. And that one simple observation, it unlocked a mystery that would totally change how we see these incredible animals. So what on earth was going on? So that's the big question, right? What was this silent thunder? Well, to get the next piece of the puzzle, we have to fast forward a few years, all the way to the vast grasslands of Africa, where another researcher noticed something really specific and, frankly, really strange. Yeah, this researcher, Caitlin O'Connell Rodwell, she's watching an elephant herd at a watering hole, and suddenly, this happens. With absolutely no sound, no cue that she could hear, the entire herd just freezes. They stop dead in their tracks, lean forward onto their front feet, and sometimes even lift one foot off the ground. They're listening, but not with their ears. They were listening to something else entirely. So, what could they possibly be listening to? Well, the answer wasn't in the air. It was in the ground. That's right, they were listening with their feet. This whole phenomenon has a name. It's called seismic communication, and it's pretty incredible. Elephants can either stomp their feet or, get this, they can create these super deep, low-frequency rumbles. We're talking vocal cords 8 times the size of ours, and those sound waves travel not through the air, but through the earth itself. So how does that even work? I mean, how do you hear with your feet? Well, it's a fascinating bit of biology. First, the seismic waves travel through the ground. They hit the elephant's feet, which have these huge fatty pads that act like giant built-in sensors. From there, special nerve endings, they're called Pacinian corpuscles, pick up the tiniest vibrations. Then the signal travels right up their leg bones, through their shoulder, and all the way to their middle ear. So for an elephant, the line between feeling something and hearing it, well, it's basically non-existent. But you might be wondering, why go to all this trouble? Why communicate through the ground? Well, it all comes down to simple physics, and it gives them a massive, massive advantage out in the wild. Okay, think about it like this. Regular sound that travels through the air, it gets blocked by stuff like trees and hills. It fades up pretty fast. Best case scenario, it goes about 10 miles or 16 kilometers. But these low-frequency ground waves, they just flow around all those obstacles, and they travel so much farther. We're talking up to 20 miles or 32 kilometers. That is literally double the range. It's like they have their own private, long-distance internet connection built right into the planet. Okay, but it gets even more amazing. They're not just picking up random rumbles in the ground. No way. They can actually identify who is calling. It's like they have a built-in seismic caller ID. So, to test this wild idea, O'Connell Rodwell's team set up this brilliant experiment. They recorded alarm calls, the lions are coming call, from 2 different herds. One was a herd they knew, a familiar local group. The other was from a herd way over in Kenya, total strangers. Then, they converted these audio calls into ground vibrations and played them back to a herd just hanging out at a watering hole. And the results? Absolutely astounding. When they played the call from the stranger herd, the elephants barely reacted. A little bit of curiosity, but that was it. But when they played the call from the herd they knew, the reaction was immediate. We're talking a strong defensive reaction. They froze up, they bunched together to protect the young, and then they got out of there. They didn't just hear a warning. They knew exactly who was sending it. Even the researcher was blown away. She said, and I quote, "I wasn't expecting their ability to be that subtle." I mean, think about that. This isn't just hearing a fire alarm. This is recognizing a specific voice and deciding whether you trust the warning based on if it's a friend or a stranger. It's so sophisticated. So what does all this mean? It means that elephants are tuned into a completely unseen world. They're perceiving their environment in a way that's, well, it's almost beyond our imagination. So what are they saying to each other? Oh, just about everything. They're warning each other about predators, coordinating these huge herd movements over vast distances, even finding potential mates. But it's not just social media for elephants. They're also listening to the planet itself. They can actually tune in to the rumbles of distant thunderstorms to find rain. And you are not going to believe this number. 300 kilometers. That's almost 200 miles. Researchers have literally tracked elephant herds, changing their entire migration pattern to move towards a storm that was still days away. Long before we would see clouds or feel a drop of rain, they heard it coming from hundreds of miles away. And this incredible sensitivity, it might even explain something that puzzled people for years. You might remember the anecdotal reports from the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, where people saw elephants suddenly moving to higher ground for no apparent reason, long before the wave hit. It's possible they actually felt the earthquake's low-frequency vibrations traveling through the earth, a warning that we, with all our advanced technology, completely missed. And that brings us to a final, pretty mind-bending question. Elephants are tuned into a whole hidden frequency, a secret conversation they're having with each other and with the earth itself. It just makes you wonder, if this entire sensory world exists right there, under our feet, what else is out there? What other wonders of the natural world are we just not equipped to perceive?